Hello, friends. If you're watching this, you probably know by now that TenuousLight, aka Ryan, is no longer with us. He died suddenly and unexpectedly. Tenuous was literally one of the brightest souls in my life. I first met Tenuous in, I think, late October, early November of 2020 was when he started watching my channel. Could tell very, very quickly that he was witty and funny. It didn't take very long for us to become friends. We had tons of inside jokes.
Ooh, I hear that rocking chair.
Such a nerd.
What is happening in here?
Tenuous just had a boner over a rocking chair. That's what happened. Ooh, I hear a rocking chair. Some titties are gonna pull that down. It don't matter.
Some titty's gonna pull that down. Some titty's gonna pull it down. Oh no. Titty's gonna pull it down. What if I pulled one real quick anyways? Bye! I got hangman! Bye! Bring me back! Bring me back!
Very quickly as well. There was one night specifically where I was getting hate rated. Also, like hundreds of viewers were coming in and just saying hateful things, and it's kind of a cluster, but you have to just slowly ban all of the accounts so that it stops doing it. And in that chaos of trying to ban all of those accounts, I accidentally banned Tenuous, and I didn't even know for like 2 minutes later until somebody in chat said something that I accidentally banned him. And so we have that as a running joke. Like, we have a command that's exclamation mark Tenuous, and it's like JoJo banned Tenuous. It was really funny, and that became a constant joke because he was the kind of person who was always picking on me, but out of love, obviously, you know, like making fun of dumb small things that I would do, especially if I was like being hard on myself. He would make fun of me for that.
I'm not entirely sure what to say. I'm not really sure how to even come close to talking about how Ryan and I knew each other. We were best friends. We were more than friends, but at the same time, nothing more than friends. It was complicated. I met Ryan in a game called Guild Wars around 2009-2010, and immediately we just clicked. At the time, I knew him as Marcus, which was his handle in game, and before TenuousLight was ever created. Even then, he had a great love of good-natured trolling. He thrived on the back-and-forth heckling and running jokes. How short I was, how ridiculously tall he was, how much I hated mustard, his atrocious in-game fashion sense. The more absurd the argument, the better. There were few things in life that he enjoyed more than getting a rise out of people. We both loved completing elite areas in unusual ways. Warriors and monks with no spell protection, low manning areas meant for large parties, charging into huge groups just expecting to keep each other alive. As of today, I have over 13,000 hours in Guild Wars 1. Ryan had at least as many, and we spent many of those hours together in-game and in voice. Sometimes you spend so much time with someone, eventually everyone kind of sees you as joined at the hip. That was me and Ryan. I could never show up to something without someone going, "Where's Marcus?" And he couldn't show up anywhere without someone going, "Where's Frosty?" People like to call us an old married couple just because of how much we bickered all the time, but it was so much fun. We shared all those things that you'd never admit to another soul. All those bizarre habits, those weird thoughts. There was kind of no such thing as TMI with us. We met in person for the first time in 2012, when I visited him in Houston. Neither of us were entirely sure what to expect, but in the end, it just solidified how close we were as friends. I got to meet his dad and his mom. He loved them both so much. Ryan really admired his dad and always talked about the projects they both did in both their home and in his condo, and how much he learned by working with them. Overall, his mom was just a great source of strength for him and also a great friend. Ryan cared so deeply about all of his friends. He was willing to go to incredible lengths for them. He was incredibly generous. He was always the first person to offer help, even when you weren't entirely sure you needed it. He was more in tune with people around him than most people realized, and while he wasn't afraid to express himself as needed, he was not always the most ready to accept or reach out for help. Sometimes you really had to drag it out of him. We often had long talks, usually spanning out of whatever game we were playing, until finally the root of whatever the issue was would come out. His issues with his vision was something that colored every aspect of his life. The limitations it placed on his day-to-day, his ability to work, his proficiency in video games. Many of his friends and social connections were through games. He was so excited to go to TwitchCon and meet in person all of the streamers that he played games with, but he was also really worried that his vision wouldn't let him do all those things that he wanted to do. Luckily, JoJo and others really stepped up to help him, which made that experience one of the best of his life. In 2024, after his stroke, was particularly hard for him. His ability to communicate and his coordination was impaired, which made doing all those things he loved online almost impossible. We spent many hours on Discord calls and in person just having conversations, just practicing words or phrases that were hard. Ryan improved so much through sheer hard work and determination. I was so proud of him. Even after improving so much, he was still so hesitant to get back into the communities that he loved. I told him he had to do it. They were his friends, and they already put up with nonsense before anything had happened, so they would love him no matter what he said now. He still had me proofread the post and any possible answers that he wanted to send, just in case. But I did see his mood improve after he did, and I was so happy for him. I'm not particularly good at expressing myself, but I wish I could tell him to his face again how much he meant to me and how proud I was. I love you, Ryan. Rest in peace, you big dumb idiot.
A couple years ago, I was having a really rough day, and JoJo, being the wonderful human being that she is, let me join her in some games of Phasmophobia. I joined the game, and surprise, surprise, Tenuous showed up. I had no idea he was going to be joining that day, but he jumped right in with his usual fun and welcoming energy, so we just started playing. He was absolutely wonderful. He tried to protect me from dying, taught me things when I was doing something wrong, but most importantly, he did all of this with his usual sassiness that we all love. Even though there was someone less experienced playing, he made sure that JoJo's stream kept moving and that we were all having a good time. Tenuous truly was the spirit of the game that day, and he put the spirit back in my otherwise bad day. It's a day that I will forever remember and will hold a place in my heart. It's hard to believe that such an amazing person is gone from this world. Although I didn't know him personally, there is a hole left behind in me, in JoJo, and everyone in this community. We will all miss him, miss his playful banter, his sassy chats, but also the wonderful human being that he is. He truly shined a light in this community, and I just hope that wherever he is now, he is at peace, and that someday we will all see him again as a community.
Tenuous was an amazing person, funny, loving. He loved JoJo and the community so much. And it's awful that he's gone, but we will always keep him here in our heart.
What a lot of people don't know is behind the scenes, he was actually just the kindest, most understanding, and down-to-earth person. Even though he was literally a giant person, his heart was just so tender, and he was so kind and so selfless. I can't even, if I was going through something, he would talk me through it, and I always felt better. If I was struggling on stream, or if I was having a bad week, he would just type in my chat sometimes, and he would just say door because he had my address, and he would just send me big gifts of you know, like $80 worth of my favorite gas station snacks and candy and energy drinks and whatever I needed to keep going, because he cared so much for the people that he loved. He cared so much for the people that he loved. I told myself I wasn't going to do this. I'm sorry. He would go so far out of his way to make sure that somebody else had a better day, or that they were happier, or that they knew how much they were loved. Every single day, he reminded us of this. Whether it be in chat, giving his all, being a troll, indie horror games and simulator games and stuff like that. Tenuous, I'm gonna cut your off.
Excuse me? You
Well,
killed...
Tenuous just murdered me.
There's friendly fire. You killed Garros.
I did?
He's on the ground. My pants in a moment.
Stomach ache.
He's yelling with a key.
I stood in front of it so he wouldn't look at it. It was an attack control. And it worked. Worked very well. You are slap happy as hell tonight.
Oh boy.
You just picked up the see what I want. Oh my god.
Or whether it was in DMs, reassuring me that my imposter syndrome was stupid and not real, and that the people who hurt me in the past didn't matter anymore, because I had people like him who have been with me through so much. There is not a person on this planet who can ever come close to replacing the role that he had in my life.
You are listening to Radio Freedom, the voice of the Minuteman, broadcasting all day, all across the Commonwealth. Stay tuned for Minuteman alerts. This just in, from Preston himself for the wastelander named TenuousLight. There is a settlement that needs your help. The wastelanders here asked for you specifically. They said you're as refreshing as a Nuka-Cola and you light up the room like a drop nuke. So make sure you stop by that nearby settlement and tell them that we sent you. Otherwise, nothing to report. You stay safe out there, people.
Over the 5 years that I knew him, we became very close. We did get to meet and hang out for a whole weekend once in 2022. There was one night in particular where I wanted to go out partying, as I love to, but a bunch of my friends didn't feel well that night for various reasons. But Tenuous offered to come with me. He just, you know, he has choroideremia, so he couldn't see well. And he asked if he could still come. And I was like, absolutely, you can come with me. So I brought him. I brought him to a rave club. That night was trance night. So it was really crazy EDM. And I made sure that we got an Uber together. I made sure he had a chair, a nice comfy chair to sit in right by the dance floor. and I could see him at all times, and he would be like, okay, go dance. And he would just vibe and listen to the music, and I would come back in between songs and ask him if he needed a drink or anything. You know, that's what you do for friends, right? You take them out and have a good time. Even if it's not easy to take them out, you take them out because you care, you know, you give a damn. He told me a couple of months later, when I was at a really, really, really low point in my life, nobody had ever done anything like that for him outside of like a family member. He had never had anybody go so far out of their way and change their plans just to drag him along and make sure that he was safe and taken care of and not excluded. And that kind of broke my heart. He deserved so much more out of this world.
Did they change something overnight?
My friends are in there, can you not?
I know what you did! I know what you did!
No, it's an Oni.
Probably. But we need to see dots for that.
We haven't seen dots all night. I'm not even sure that they exist anymore.
I've seen dots like 3 times.
I have. Okay, I saw them.
You don't look.
I saw them once, and when okay, there's dots.
I think I just saw dots. Did you just see that?
There's dots.
Okay.
Someone tell me the lore behind Tenuous being called Tenuous, please. So I have a friend whose name is Dodo. Dodo misspoke because she's German, and Tenuous is a hard word for her to read and say. So she said Tenuous. She called him Tenuous literally for like months. And so I just started calling him Tenuous as well because I thought it was adorable.
The loss of Tenuous still doesn't feel real to me most of the time. Just seeing a rocking chair immediately makes me think of Tenuous. And then suddenly I'm reminded that he isn't here with us anymore. I remember watching JoJo and Tenuous stream back in 2022 and just hearing the chaos of them yelling at each other like siblings. Thank you, Tenuous, for being a good friend, not only to me, but especially to JoJo, and a wonderful moderator. You touched so many lives online, and I'm just happy to have known you. Just thank you for everything. We love you, Tenuous.
Now that he's gone, I just want to do my due diligence and make sure that he has the best memorial that anybody could possibly have. And I want to make sure that his legacy is never forgotten wherever he is, because I know he's probably watching somewhere, probably laughing at me because I'm crying like a baby. I know that he is happy, and every tiny inconvenience that plagues me over the rest of my life, I'm just going to say thanks, Tenuous, because if he was still here, he would have wished he could have caused me minor inconveniences for the rest of my life. So I know, at least in my tiny corner of the internet, that he will have this glowing memorial of this video and the website that we've built. And in my online community, we will never, ever forget you, Tenuous.
Ryan was my little brother. Born in 1983, he was 3 years younger than me and 7 years younger than Eric, our older brother. He was actually our big younger brother. If you interacted with him online rather than in person, then you may not have known that he towered over most people at 6 feet 6 inches tall. Though his stature was imposing, he was gentle and generous, much like our dad. He was a kind-hearted and analytical person. He'd happily give you his opinion on just about any topic, you just had to ask. He grew up in Southwest Houston, in the same house for his entire childhood, where our mother still lived until she died last spring. Ryan was also the one most likely to not study at all for a test in high school and then get a high A. He played t-ball and baseball when he was in elementary school, and he played football for Lanier Middle School and Jones High School, where he attended the Magnet Vanguard Academy for the quote-unquote smart kids. He was a fearsome linesman, watched by college recruiters due to his size, but he quit playing senior year because of his vision. Due to choroideremia, he was legally blind by his early 30s. He loved both building computers from scratch and making friends through online world-building games. A natural outgrowth of those loves, his career was in technical support, first at the University of Houston downtown and later at Rice University. He was a generous uncle to Andreas's and my 2 children, Matthias and Freya, even visiting us solo in late 2019 when it was already very cold in Montreal. No small feat given his limited vision. He was the smart one of us 3 kids in my family, according to my mom. They were the best of friends, and I know it's been the hardest for him since she died 9 months ago. I am glad he is reunited with her and our dad, wherever that may be. We'll really miss him, his dry humor, and his big heart.
Why does the sun go on shining? Why does the sea rush to shore? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when I lost your love. Why do the birds go on singing? Why do the stars glow above? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when you said goodbye. Why does my heart go on beating? Why do these eyes of mine cry?